Okay, we're gonna go ahead and resume our meeting, and we got out of executive session at 7:31. And we're gonna go ahead and resume our city council meeting at 7:33. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and move on. And yes, that will have to be new business B. No, I don't always know to. Oh, the freeze the funding. B, there. Yeah. New business. So the approval, to approve a professional service agreement for the temporary finance personnel. So can I get a motion on that? We're gonna go ahead and redraft the few wording on that, and if you all want to go ahead and make a motion on that, and then get Terry can let you all know as soon as it's done, we will forward it to him. He can look at it. So if I can get a motion.
I make a motion to approve professional service agreement for the temporary finance personnel, and there will be a draft, there'll be a change on it with the attorney, so.
Correct. Thank you. I have a motion by Diana. Second by Vera. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. So we can then go on to we did this one, B. No, we already did that. We'll go to 7. Yes.
Yeah.
7. Visitors' comments? Do you have any visitors? Please step up to the podium, state your name and address. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and go on to 8. Council.
Ruben Olivares. I have a couple of things I want to mention here. First thing is, as far as vision goes, I don't think it's a requirement that you have to have somebody that knows the program. When anybody could probably learn it within a matter of time, so I think that that's irrelevant of having to hire somebody that actually knows how to run that program. I mean, everybody can be trained, you know, so that in itself is, I don't go with it. Another thing is, why isn't office personnel answering phone calls after 4:30 in the afternoon when they're there till 5? Anybody have an answer?
They are.
Am I being ignored or what?
No, I'm writing notes.
So
We didn't hear you. They're not, they're
why don't
not,
office personnel answer the phones after 4:30 in the afternoon?
Thank you.
they don't answer?
They don't answer the phones after 4:30. And I know that for a fact because I went in today. I called them and no answer and no answer. So I went in there and I asked them, why aren't you guys answering the phone after 4:30? You know, why aren't you guys answering the phone? Aren't they working? And Gracie's answer was, we don't answer the phone after 4:30. I go, why not? You guys are here till 5. Because we were told not to answer the phone after 4:30. I go, okay, then I'll bring that up later on tonight. So what's the deal with that? They're there till 5. They don't clock out till 5. So why can't they answer the phones during the time that they're there? Another thing is Zoom. Why do people have to be invited to be on Zoom when it's a public forum? If that's the case, why don't you guys have it on YouTube Live? Because what about if there's people out there that want to ask questions And they can't because they gotta be invited and they gotta be given the link on how to get on Zoom. That to me is totally uncalled for because they have just as much right to listen to these council meetings as anybody else in here. And it's not fair to the community. So I would recommend that changes. And it goes back to live YouTube. At least that way everybody's informed of what's being discussed. It's not fair to the people that live here in Mountain. And I'm sure there's a lot of people out there wondering the same thing. Last but not least, I think you, Rachel, I think you owe an apology to Mr. Riley for being rude to him, for ignoring him, for not accepting him as a city attorney. I think you owe an apology to the council members and to the people that are present for dropping the F-bomb in front of everybody. And that was on record because you were being recorded. That in itself is totally unprofessional. So you might want to calm your temp, because for you to drop the F-bomb like that, just out of anger, totally unacceptable. That's all I gotta say.
Thank you. Thank you. Hey, Diana, you have anything to add?
Oh, can I go out?
Oh, I'm sorry,
Oh,
Natalie.
sorry. Natalie Palomares, 126th Avenue. Yeah, I just have a question. There's been a lot of break-ins and yeah, prowlers, and I had someone in my yard at 2:30 this morning and I haven't gone back to sleep yet, so. Is there gonna be more cops on duty or change their hours or something? I mean, I don't know what else we could do, cause I can't be up all night, you know, so. So anyway, that was all I had.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay.
I forgot to mention one thing. Why are you willing to hire somebody? Well, no, wait a minute. Let me rephrase that. Why are you willing to hire two people that just got released from another city and hire them here to work here for the city of Mountain without really knowing the reason as to why they got let go? They had to have gotten let go for a reason. And I doubt that it was downstaffing. So there was something behind that. And for you to turn around and you're willing to hire them without council approval, it doesn't make no sense to me. The girl that you have working right now, I won't mention no names, but you know who I'm talking about. You let her go in the past and you rehired her. The other girl that you're thinking about hiring, you let her go in the past when you first came into office and you're rehiring her. I understand you've dug yourself a deep hole, Rachel, and you're looking for a way to get out of it. And I think this is why you're doing what you're doing, because they've worked here before. They know what, they know the routine. But as a resident, I don't think that's right. Why are you willing to hire people that I'm sure have done something negligent? That's why they got let go, but you're willing to take the chance to hire them here again, knowing that the mess that we're in. And how can you hire somebody when we don't even have a budget yet? This budget that you submitted today, it's not even a final budget. It's more of a preliminary budget. And my understanding by looking at it is that it's not even up to par. So I can't see how you're willing to take chances like that on people's money. It's the taxpayers that pay all you guys' wages. And you're wanting to abuse that just because? It's not fair to the community. It's not fair to the residents here. It's not fair to anybody here, whether they agree with me or not. It's just not right. And that's something that you have to answer to, but you're not willing to answer.
Thank you. Anybody else? Councilwoman Diana? You have anything to say? Sylvie?
Yes. This had to do with some of the stuff that the residents were saying here. So we passed an ordinance, back in either April or May for the office hours to be changed back to be open till 5 o'clock. Why hasn't this not been happening? It's an ordinance. And then the resolution, we did a resolution back in April or May, the same time, to have the meetings back on YouTube. Why hasn't this happened either? We do ordinance and stuff and you don't implement them, you don't follow them. Minutes, I hope the minute, who's gonna be in charge of doing minutes and stuff, I hope they write the minutes properly, that way people can go online and read this stuff, so they can't watch it online. Oh, and also I like to, I don't know, someone said about how do the residents be able to go on Zoom? There's a number they're supposed to call that we need to put out there so they know? I think there's a number they're supposed to call, I don't know who asked, Ruben?
There's a link.
There's a number they call and then they can put you through.
Yeah,
But it needs to be out there so the residents know how to do that.
but my question is, they shouldn't have to be a link to get on Zoom. It should be live.
Well, that's a different one,
Yeah.
but to be on Zoom where they can comment,
Yeah.
they have to call that number.
No,
Well,
yes.
I'm answering his questions of how the residents can go online and
So-
comment on the meetings.
Sophie, I confirmed with Sylvia the code, but it was still asking me for an invite. And she confirmed the code and meeting ID.
Yeah, you gotta be invited to get on Zoom.
I guess you have to call them, I don't know how that works, but we need to put that out there so the citizens know how to get on. Is it on the website, the city website? That information of that?
It's on YouTube Live right now.
It's on YouTube Live right now?
Yeah.
Ooh, thank you. Because we put that ordinance in well, and then we hear people, I hear from citizens, I don't, that it's not a lot of the time. It is now. Good, thank you.
No, but as far as calling in and asking
Okay.
questions.
So that instructions will probably have to be on the city website so they can understand how to do that. Could we do that for them? Thank you.
Yeah, there's some stuff here that I want to show some of you about some bills that I do not see in my packet here.
Okay. Anything else?
How many security cameras are in town?
Security cameras or SWAT cameras?
You know, security cameras, you say there's some in town and.
Well, I know that, when Mary and Vera went to a training, they found out about the cameras that like were set up in the parks and in the cemetery. So I don't know, there was like 10, you said?
Yeah, that's
10.
what you told me,
Yeah, there's 10, but those are outdated cameras.
but they'll give us.
And we, yeah, they're 700 per camera, and then we have to get the storage and all that.
He thinks.
Yeah, Joe called.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, so it was gonna be 700 per camera plus to get the, I guess, to reinstate them again, to get them up and going, because they're outdated since 2016.
Well, I'm just referring like when Natalie said there's a lot of,
Yeah,
and I might go outside sometimes at 12 or 1 o'clock and I can see people walking and running all over the dang place like a bunch of cockroaches.
well, I mean, I brought it up before, we need to get our siren back, remember? And get the parents to know their kids have to be in at 10 o'clock. You know, we had that here and we need to start enforcing it again. And it's gonna be up to y'all to bring that back. Thank you.
I think we have to get rid of it because they deemed it unconstitutional.
Well, we can ask you.
Well, yeah,
we can
we
look
can
into
check,
it,
but that's
but
what
I mean,
remember.
yeah, that's,
Yeah.
we
Somebody-
did have we had the siren ring at 10 o'clock.
Oh, for years.
And
For
all kids had to
curfew.
be in, it was a curfew.
The city can set a curfew, or they can establish safety procedures or reasons. Sorry. Okay. The city can establish a curfew, they can establish a safety reason for needing to do so at that point, and it has to be done through ordinance. So,
And I mean, if there's a lot of that going on, it's gonna be up to council to bring an ordinance and get that up and going again. And
I thought we had one for 10 o'clock.
no, it hasn't for a long
Oh,
time.
no?
Mm-mm.
They
So
took
does that
it out.
curfew
So we would.
apply to adults or just kids?
you can establish the age ranges if you need to for various reasons. Anytime you put restrictions on ages, though, you need to establish a legal reason for doing so. That has to do with safety or security concerns. There's a list of those in the RCWs that you can articulate if you need to for
You
that.
can do a flat out curfew period, no matter how it is.
You can, but again, you have to establish a security reason for doing
And I
so.
think we did, it was up to, was it 18 at one time? You know, and then, if I look, yeah, and if I remember, the parents were warned and then they were fined at one time. And I mean, if that's what needs to be done and we need to bring that back, then we need to bring that back there. I mean, I'm not gonna argue that it's been crazy here in Mountain lately.
Do
You
you
know,
think it is like our kids, or do you think it's these other?
well, I mean, if people are seeing them run around at midnight, then there are local, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah,
And I think the parents maybe are working right now in the harvest at night, so kids are out running around, while parents aren't home, you know. People are, you know, going in and working until the morning, so those kids are out, you know, so. That might be something to think about and bring back if you all are interested in doing that. So, and then, anything else?
No, I'm fine,
You
thank
want to bring anything else up?
No,
So, yeah, I'll get to him right now.
Oh, okay.
So do you guys have anything to add?
No.
Marty? Okay, so, I know that, I talked to Arturo a couple of weeks ago, brought him into the office, wanted to ask him if he was willing to get a group of men together, regarding the old high school. I know the owner reached out to me yesterday and asked where we were at with that, because he's willing to sell the old high school back to the city. He don't want nothing to do with it, or unless we could come up, or if we can come up with something with Commerce, like there was in place at one time. I had the binder, I found the binder, but the ball got dropped. Some years back. So, you know, he is interested in selling it back to the city. I told him right now we are not able to due to the budget, but as soon as we get our 2025 budget, you know, we can look into it.
Yep, I'm glad you said that, because that's the people I've been talking to, they said the same thing. How in the heck are you wanting to purchase something if you don't have a budget? So
And
I just stopped talking to people.
so he's willing to work with the city, you know, and he did lower the price. So, you know, that's maybe something to look at in the future, to get it up. You know, we've been in there a couple of times. And, the structure is really good inside, it's, other than when we have some of the homeless living in there. You know, so.
Probably moving it on these, but we just don't know it.
Okay. You have anything to add?
Not unless, sorry. Not unless anyone has any questions at this time.
We don't. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and adjourn the meeting at 7:50. Thank you.